Space Marine, Orc, Tyranid, the Eldar, Elves, Dwarfs, the Empire, the Forces of Chaos. Eternal battles of good and evil in the distant far future and in the fantasy past. Every child who ever loved science fiction felt the lure of plastic and metal figures to do glorious battle with their enemies, to paint and collect, to build and destroy, to buy every model in their favourite army before having to buy a new rulebook every year because you can't play with your army, so you need more of your parents' money to buy more rulebooks, and of course paints and glue that seem to dry up after 3 months. But hey, who wants to talk about silly little things that cost way too much money? I mean really, some people just have no idea with money, they just buy the next thing that a company shits out regardless of how much time has gone past. Games Workshop video games. I love Games Workshop games just as much as the next guy. In fact, you might say I love them even more than the next guy. I've got a bookshelf just groaning under the weight of all the collected books from the series. I've got games across all the different platforms, and I've even got a modest collection of figurines that to this day sadly remain unpainted, and a constant reminder of keeping up with the projects I start. These are actually all mine.
I did it in grayscale because they aren't colourful, but it just made it look worse.
We're going to start with a really strong first contender for this series. It's going to be Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War, and all of the expansion packs. Personally, one of my favourite games and game series, I suppose, and one that I literally pumped hours of my life into. Dawn of War, the first real-time strategy Games Workshop game that I played, and the one that I consider just to be the closest to me. I grew up playing Age of Empires, and I absolutely adored the base building. So when this came along, I had Warhammer and base building. It just seemed like a natural fit. So I used to lurk a lot on IGN, and when this came along, it literally blew my mind. I never seen things like this before. Persistent bodies, carnage, death, mutilation, destruction, explosions, everything. It was just so amazing. Look at this shit. Craters in 2004. They had morale, flames depleting morale, squad movement, and animated close combat death scenes. Not to mention units that could be summoned into the heart of battle, either with teleporting or drop pods or demonic summoning. Jesus Christ, you guys. This was awesome. So Dawn of War came out in 2004, which was coincidentally the same year as Half-Life 2 and Rome Total War, and I think a lot of the features at the time were really innovative. So you had the use of morale, which has been used in like Rome Total War and the other Total War games, but never in an RTS before, as far as I can tell. It was just so fucking cool. And also you had all the different things as well, so you had different combat stances, for instance, so you could just adjust your tactics on the fly. Let's say you got some Space Marines, you fight some Eldar Guardians, man, you'll do so much better than those guys in close combat. Just change your stance and run in. It's that simple. Over a couple of the expansion packs, new abilities and the way that the abilities worked were added or rectified. For example, Infiltration, which was stealth mode for a few select units, was tweaked from being an active mode that required a cooldown and in some cases research to simply a passive mode in Dark Crusade that was always on and allowed uninterrupted ranged and close combat while infiltrated. This actually brought me out of the immersion a little bit because the enemies were act totally idle, and I guess it's just a thing that they wouldn't code in, but the death animations were still there. It just struck me as odd that the enemy troops would do nothing, as if it was just their imagination that they were being stabbed or shot in the face. Just another day in this man's Imperium, defending this room for the glory of the Emperor. Hey, what's that sound? Is that fighting? What the fuck is that? Is that a life bar? Am I losing health right now? That's just a thing that doesn't really matter too much. The focus on capturing strategic points and critical locations was also a bit of an innovation that I'd never really seen before, but I dare say that will probably be less of an innovation for the RTS genre as a whole than the use of the different combat stances, the ability to switch between range and close combat, that sort of thing that you saw in Dawn of War, and the morale stuff. These points come in 3 varieties: strategic, critical, and relic. Strategic points are standard resource blocks. You capture them over a period of about 30 seconds, and then you can reinforce them with a listening post to prevent their easy recapture. You can also reinforce these posts to make them attack the enemy and give you bonus resource extraction. Requisition generates over time, and these points can be a victory condition. However, because there is usually so many of them, you often have to beat your opponent into the ground and control the entire map in order to win. So, what's the point?
That was a strategic point joke.
Critical locations, on the other hand, don't allow reinforcement and have a no-go area that you can't build in, so if you want to defend them, you've got to be flexible and just hang around them. There's usually way less, so playing the victory condition is usually way more interesting and leads to a lot more firefights. Finally, we have relics. They don't give you much requisition and they take an age to capture, but they glow like fucking awesome and they give you your faction special unit. Space Marines get a Land Raider tank, Imperial Guard get a Baneblade tank, Chaos Space Marines get the Greater Demon of the Blood God, the Eldar get an avatar of their entire fucking race's War God, which gives them an increase in vehicle and unit population capacity, and just basic production and everything like that. And the Orcs, they get this. I'll be honest with you guys, things seem just a little bit skewed in favor of the other races. Like, I get that fighting for the Imperium man doesn't get you a blood-soaked demon creatures from the pits of hell to play with, and I get that the Emperor might not be cool with that, being the anti-chaos and all, but come on, man, there's huge death machines available for the Space Marines and to the Imperial Guard. The background lore of the Imperium gives them Titans for Christ's sake. Okay, you guys, like, I'll be okay with the Imperial Guard getting the Bane Blade. It's got 11 Barrows of Hell. Space Marine chapters, on the other hand, have loads of Land Raiders. They're ancient and awesome, but common enough to be considered war gear. Revered relics, sure, but not absolutely exceptional. Not like a Titan or even an Imperial Knight. Failing this stuff, we could have gotten a hero of the Imperium, an overpowered unit that can stand toe-to-toe with the enemy's demon units, a Grey Knight's Grandmaster, or a legendary hero of the chapter, like Commando Dante or Manius Calga. Something that would make sense to be able to defeat a Bloodthirster or an Avatar. Although, if you're up to date with the background lore, defeating an Avatar isn't exactly an impressive feat these days. Dawn of War is perhaps my favourite expansion, if only for the fact that it added 2 new races, the Tau and the Necrons, giving us a grand total of 7 races, and a nice balance of unit composition, a couple of extra patches, stuff like that, as well as a new single player campaign. Now most people when they play RTSs, they don't always play the single player, but I really enjoyed this one. It went from just being a linear story driven campaign to being more of an overall planetary campaign that you'd actually expect in the Warhammer universe. The overall game itself brought back 2 new characters, Warboss Gorguts and Farseer Taldir, as well as introducing a couple of new ones, which were really quite interesting as well. So you had Captain Davian Fuel and Eliphas the Inheritor. If you've kept up with Dawn of War, then you'll probably be very familiar with these guys. Some of the voice acting in this game was amazing. The Chaos Lord especially was just so impressive and gave you the perfect impression of sinister awesomeness that perfectly suited Eliphas.
Forces of chaos, bow to me.
The fighting sounds, the weapon sounds, the ambient sounds from the units like Space Marines screaming for the Emperor while charging into battle, and even the death sounds. Well, almost all of them. I suppose Guardsmen don't really view the inevitable with anything other than a slow, quiet dread at the thought of their souls being devoured by the gods of chaos, and their actual flesh being devoured by Groot for a healthy hit point boost. Yay! Dark Crusade was awesome, with a great single player and a nice roster of factions and units. The original Dawn of War introduced the Blood Ravens and mirrored the novel really well. It gave a compelling story facing off against dangerous enemies and heroes, plot twists and turns, as well as a couple of memes like Sindri. The end game as well gave us such an awesome finish. Even though this game has been out for over a decade, it's still worth buying if you haven't played it. So I'll just say that the boss fight is incredible, you need to check it out. Winter Assault followed on with the book Dawn of War Ascension, although with a focus on 2 separate campaigns, the Forces of Order and Disorder, which each revolve around fighting over a buried Imperial Titan. A secret 6th race also makes an appearance at the end of the campaigns. The sound design here is top notch too. The Imperial Guard were characterized perfectly, and the established races' new units were nicely put together too. Especially the Khorne Berserkers, their sound effects were just incredible.
For the slaughter! I am not your bootlick!
Awesome. Anyway guys, that about wraps everything up for me. I've covered all the original Dawn of War games and I'm fairly happy leaving it here. In the next video we'll be talking about
Rise!
Mother of the Emperor. Not them.
Sisters, fight by my side!
Ah shit, not this again.
Unbelievers must die!
Soulstorm, get back in the pile.
A foul demon. We must be strong.
No, it likes you, Soulstorm. Sisters are overpowered and flying units suck.
Look, sisters, the adversary comes. Be wary.
Dark Elder are way too tanky, and the Living Saint ridiculous. Avatar abilities in a jetpack? What the fuck?
Emperor, grant ascension.
Soulstorm, get back in the pile.
I have longed for action.
What?
I have spent my time in prayer.
Oh, I see. So you've been cooped up a little too long in the nunnery, huh?
Come, my sisters.
Okay, that's enough.
Abominable traitors!
Look, traders. You like flying units? How's this?
Smite the enemy! Wretched heretics!
And I guess the Earth is safe once more. I'm gonna go play some video games. Okay then guys, that really is the end of this video. I'm very sorry for this video taking so long. I've moved house since, and basically I'll have a follow-up video explaining everything and doing a tour and all that good stuff. You can check me out on the social medias if you don't have me already. I have a Facebook page, Twitch, Twitter, and yes, even a YouTube, believe it or not. So by all means, please do go on there, leave comments, likes, subscriptions, questions and everything else. I will catch you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.